my name is Captain Ryan Lambert. I've been a hunting and fishing guide in Louisiana for 40 years now. I've grown up in this area where we're sitting, this is in Luling, but I guide down toward the mouth of the Mississippi River. And I've watched the area deplete for so many years. That's why I'm so passionate about coastal restoration and what we do. This area is strategically important, not only to me, but to the whole United States. We have the Mississippi River, with all the commerce comes up the river. Without the river, what would the United States be? It would, most of the seafood is from here. Probably 30–40% of the seafood in the United States is from here. 30% of the oil is from here. So this is a strategic area that needs to be saved, not only for the waterfowl, but for the United States.
Being out in the outdoors and also making a living in the outdoors has always been part of my life. The mission of Wildlife and Fisheries, Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries, is to be great stewards of the resources, the natural resources of the state of Louisiana. So to keep in mind that for every action that we have, there's a reaction that affects not only us, but the animals and plants that habitate the entire state.
My name is Cassidy Lejeune. I work for Ducks Unlimited. I'm a manager of conservation programs for South Louisiana, and I've been doing it for about 3 years with Ducks Unlimited. Before that, I worked for the state of Louisiana as a biologist, helping out managing coastal WMAs and refuges. We have a wide variety of habitat types that are important, from the swamps to the marshes, to the salt marshes, to the fresh marshes. And just the scale of it, there's so much of it. The statistic is Louisiana winters about 40% of the duck population in the Mississippi Flyway.
It flooded in 1927, when it flooded most of the United States with the high Mississippi River. We started building levees, and when we built the levees, we didn't think about what would happen 2 generations later, which is normal for humans. And when we built the levees, we cut off the sediment in the fresh water that replenished the marsh every spring. If you don't ever put it back, it just sinks, and that's what's happening. Louisiana is sinking out of sight.
Coastal Louisiana, along with the Mississippi Alluvial Valley, are both like level 1 priority areas for Ducks Unlimited. We've lost 1.2 million acres of coastal marshes since the 1930s, according to research from USGS. So we've lost an area since the 30s the size of Delaware. It's a significant amount of loss, and that's part of the reason why DU is in South Louisiana, trying to combat that issue.
So much activity on the coast, not only in revenue, but also in the subsidence, erosion, and lack of deposition that made this place is something that really sets this place apart. You're sitting on a landmass that essentially has the highest rate of subsidence on the planet.
Due to that subsidence and saltwater intrusion, Louisiana has lost 2,000 square miles of land thus far in the last 70 years. The Grand Canyon is 1,906 square miles. We've lost an area greater than the Grand Canyon. Can you imagine that?
One of the major things is that the plumbing of coastal Louisiana has been altered over the years. That's one of the main issues that needs to be addressed, is kind of fixing some of those plumbing issues as far as the hydrology of how water moves throughout the coast.
The first 3 crevasses actually came in less than 1/3 of the originally allocated budget. Those 3 crevasses to this day are still transmitting sediment and building on those splays. Those 3 crevasses, the 1986 Louisiana Crevasse Project, to date have produced over 500 acres of marshland that's emergent vegetation, and also another 300 to 400 acres of subaquatic vegetation. One of my favorite places to go, especially with guys like yourself, first times down here, is exactly where we went today at the second stop, the Ducks Unlimited crevasse. Because when I first started working here 13 years ago, it had just been completed. And I've watched that area evolve almost like a time-lapse photography film in my head. Every time I go there, there's a new piece of land emerging.
You know, we have 1.3 million gallons a second coming through. That's 77 million basketballs a minute coming through there. That's mind-boggling, the water that's passing through here. We just have to use it to build Louisiana back. The Coastal Master Plan has diversions in it, some of them 75,000 cubic feet per second. But that alone doesn't build the land. You have to take and slow that water down. So we build terraces, which is just little berms in a maze that'll take and hit that head pressure and swirl that water out where it'll drop, and the land will build 10 times quicker that way than anything else. You know, within 10 years, we can have thousands of acres of land.
We like terraces, and the reason why we like terraces is A, they're affordable, but B, they provide a good mix of land and water, and provide additional benefits beyond just pumping in and filling in a marsh. If you do have a sediment source where you can funnel water and sediment through those terraces, the terraces can also trap a lot of that sediment and help kind of restore marsh naturally in between the ridges.
You know, I'm working with Ducks Unlimited on some projects that I do, and they have the resources and they have the foresight to come in here and see what needs to be done, and they have the ability to go after the dollars to get it done. And they've been great. They've been great to work with, and we have the same vision for saving the coast.
It takes people from various backgrounds, and it takes scientists, it takes politicians, it takes government agencies, it takes everybody coming together that have the same interest in trying to restore and enhance wetlands and restore our coast. It takes making it a priority at a national level to make sure that funding's available to do good restoration projects.